Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Monday, November 2nd, 2015. Well, folks, markets are very quiet today. We, after the late day sell-off on Friday, have moved back up and basically tested the highs from Friday. You can see again here a beautiful little trend line. If you connect this high, this high, this high, it connects perfectly to today's high. So that seems to be a short-term topping trend line right now. But the question is there any sort of dictation to downside risk here? And I just don't see it right now. We had bad factory orders from China over the weekend. That initially had the futures on the S&P down overnight, but we could see very quickly we opened higher today and reversed and are basically trading at the short-term highs on this market right now. So without that as a catalyst, if we're seeing that those factors from China aren't pushing the U.S. markets down, what else is there? I mean, we have the jobs report on Friday. I think that's most likely what the markets will be waiting for. Unless we get some sort of shock out before that point, I think the markets, again, probably stay here or even float a little bit higher. Okay? Interestingly enough, one other little factor I want to show you, this trend line that's going through current price. See how the price is just bobbing up and down, above, below this other trend line? This trend line goes back quite a ways. Let me go to my 60-minute chart and just show you here real quickly. Okay, so if we go to the 60-minute chart here, and let's flip to that right now. Zoom out, and you can see very clearly here, this pivot high to this pivot high here connects to these highs, and then that's what we're chopping through right now. So needless to say, this upsloping trend line seems to be a cap on the markets for now, which makes me, again, think that there's not much upside. But, again, could we float sideways to slightly up and follow that trend line? Absolutely, we can, until there's a bigger catalyst to the sell side. Once we get that, I actually see the markets going sharply lower. I think a 195 target on the SPY is the likely scenario. All right, let's take a look at a couple different stocks here. One stock I'm keeping an eye on is FEYE, coming off of a double bottom level. If we go to the daily chart here, you can see very clearly you are very close to a key support line. There's a pivot here and a pivot here. All right, so notice the oversold nature of this stock. This stock reports earnings, I believe, on Wednesday, so we'll see how it acts on Wednesday, but it's very close to support, so I would not be surprised if the FEYE trades up on earnings, assuming it doesn't rally too sharply into earnings on Wednesday. Another stock that I think is an intriguing play is a possible short play on BLK. Notice BLK here putting in a doji today, extremely extended, nice little pivot top right here. Right there, and again, notice how it's just gone straight up. Had a couple pullback days along the way, but I mean, this is just a monumental move to the upside. A lot of resistance in this range, guys. A ton of resistance. Okay, and again, you can see how it's actually had this huge bounce. So you had the little area over here, huge bounce, a pullback, and then this is an even bigger bounce here. I mean, it's just humongous. The other thing I want to point out to you guys is a potential possible future-looking pattern here. In fact, what I want to do is bring it up on my other chart so I don't have trend lines in the mix here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to slide a chart into the picture on the SPY here, so just bear with me while I get this all set up for you guys. But this is very, very important to me, okay? And what we're going to basically show you here is the potential for a head and shoulder pattern to form on this chart. All right, so if I zoom out, right? All right, so I've zoomed out quite a bit. Now, this is a very preliminary pattern, but I want you guys to pay attention to it, because if we start turning down, and we turn down more significantly than I think, you could have a major head and shoulder breakpoint on this chart, which sends us extremely with a huge move to the downside, even past the short-term lows on this market here. All right, so basically here's a shoulder, here's a head, and now if we were to go up, as long as we don't take out this high, if you start curling over and coming back down, guess what? Here's your neckline right here. And again, imagine you have a sell-off where you come down in this range, okay? Let me see if I can kind of put it down there. So imagine if the market follows this general move down, shoulder, head, shoulder, trend line, head and shoulder breakpoint. So it's very preliminary to look at. I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. Just keep it in the back of your mind. But get this. If we were to break this trend line here, let me just calculate the target. Let's say 215 to 180, we'll call it. So that's 35-point move. So you would have to subtract 35 points essentially from 185 or so. That would be down. Wow, that would be down huge. I mean, we'd be looking at 150 on the spiders if that came to fruition. So just something like that I want you guys to pay attention to and just keep it in the back of your minds. Could be an epic catalyst to the sell side if we did get that break point on the Head and Shoulders. But again, it's not a Head and Shoulders yet. Please don't misconstrue it. It's just something that could develop into one if we start turning down in this market and heading back sharply lower. All right, guys, enjoy. As always, come join us here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. Let's continue to make money, bottom line. All right. I love the setups we have in our research center, which gives out swing trade alerts and the options alerts. Now it's time for the market to pay us. Take care, guys.